Hey, this is Jamie from Capsule Computers, and today we are reviewing Strangeness from Barnyard Intelligence. Let's rewind time just for a bit, back to 2009. The word Star Citizen was exactly that, just words, sort of like crowdfunding. But back then, 36 people took a chance on this brand new funding platform to help Kickstarter's first video game project come to fruition. Fast forward 6 years and Kickstarter has raised millions for the video game industry, including a staggering $2 million for Star Citizen, which makes $1,500 Barnyard Intelligence raised back in 2009 to create Strangeness actually quite small. But with time, a new publisher, and a lot of effort, Strangeness is finally out. So what exactly is Strangeness? Well, it's a 12-bit action-adventure game. Now before you start banging out angry YouTube comments correcting my grasp of retro consoles, 12-bit is an invention of Barnyard Intelligence. We wanted to pay tribute to the glory days of 8-bit and 16-bit action-adventure games like The Legend of Zelda, but instead of making two games, they decided to mix it all in one game and call it 12-bit. So what does this actually mean for gamers? Well, throughout the game, our protagonist Boyd can switch his vision between 8 and 16-bit. However, the change isn't strictly graphical. It changes everything but the music. Boyd can only perform combo attacks and sprint around in 16-bit mode. On the flip side, certain enemies can only be killed in one mode or the other, while some environmental hazards or secret paths can only be spotted in certain visions. These clever bits of gameplay mechanic constantly forces the players to switch around between the two modes instead of having the player play the entire game as a 16-bit adventure. Strangeness has some great level design. There are plenty of enemies to kill, and there are some really neat puzzles that use the secondary weapons that Boyd acquires throughout the game. The final boss fight is really fulfilling, and personally I thought it was a great way to end the game. The controls are okay. For the most part, it's a perfect replication of the NES and the SNES feel. This is definitely a game best enjoyed with a controller, but for me, I felt the hitboxes could be a little off at times. It wasn't a constant thing, but there were definitely moments where I felt that I should have taken damage or I should have dealt damage and the opposite happened. The writing is a little rough in Strangeness. The plot is really bland and feels a tad jumpy. Boyd isn't exactly the most likable hero at any point in the game, and I think the jumpiness is a little bit related to how short the game is. The entire thing can be beaten in a few hours if you can solve the puzzles really quickly. The script could have used a better editor, as there's some grammatical and spelling errors that really take away from the game's polish. The audio and the graphics, they're spot on. Strangeness could easily pass for an SNES game or an NES game. I love Barnyard Intelligence's attention to detail. When Boyd switches visions, the entire UI changes with him. Overall, Strangeness is a solid retro action adventure with a really clever twist. The biggest problem with the game is it's much too short. I would have loved to see an extra hour or two of gameplay thrown in. Strangeness is a must-play for any retro geek or Legend of Zelda fan, and I definitely recommend giving the game a try, so I'm going to give this game 8 capsules out of 10. If you want to read our full review, be sure to check out the link in the description or in the video's card. I hope to see you soon. This is Jamie from Capsule Computers signing off.